we fought Aurora's brother, whose name is not Giggles, it turns out. It's actually Cepheus. Cepheus.
That was the light and dark.
Yeah, the light and dark ways. So yeah.
That was the last session before this one.
Right. So we had that battle.
How did you get out of that one? Because I don't believe we finished.
We won it.
That one ended up being a two-parter. That's probably.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, we must have missed the second part. Okay, in the second part, we won. I can't remember all the details of the fight, but basically we finished killing all those minions that Cepheus had left behind. Well, they weren't minions, but you know they were his spawn.
Yeah.
And after we finished defeating those, we sort of like regrouped and we tried to figure out what's going on. And it turns out Cepheus is like super ultra powerful because he's been sucking souls all this time. He's got a whole bunch of copies of Aurora's soul, copies of the end of all things, and he's drawing power from them. And he's so powerful that he ignores the time tower.
He's a star, so he's kind of like a black hole for time.
Yeah.
I've described time as like a four-dimensional surface in a five-dimensional place. So just think of his surface. He's like a black hole. He just wherever it's like the ball. There's a reason there's
a time
tries to go certain ways. Is it's like a ball rolling across the surface. Some slopes are hard to go up, right?
He's always at the bottom of a hole.
He's always like puncturing the bottom. Wherever he goes, that's what's supposed to happen. Whatever he does, that's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah. So he can basically go back in time and screw with anything he wants, and the time tower can topple all at once, and nothing will happen. It'll just
time mages.
He seems to have nothing to do with the time mages. He's a fourth time traveling.
He just basically appeared. They had known her brother was around, but this is his entrance onto the scene.
Yeah.
And I told them explicitly, even though their characters wouldn't know this, that you now know all the factions. There are 4 factions. There are 5 including the party.
Yeah.
Okay, so party, time mages, this guy.
Yeah. Cepheus.
That's the name of a star.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the
Warforged?
Warforged.
Of course.
And Temple of Freedom.
Temple of Freedom.
The Serpent Priest.
Yes. Now, I mean, only 2 of these factions are actually hostile. We don't really know what the Warforged are up to, but they don't seem to be like,
They keep meddling.
They did kill all of Allenway and say we'll stop murdering everyone if you kill the
It's Allenway though.
And I said all these factions are on their plans in meta time.
Yeah.
And you essentially can choose now the order you want to tackle them. If you tackle them early, they're going to be weaker. If you leave them till last, they're going to be very powerful. So you can sort of choose the order.
And Aurora's brother is already unreasonably powerful. So we're like, holy crap. And we know that, well, we don't know for sure, but we're pretty confident that Aurora's brother is super evil and wants to basically plunge the world into misery and darkness and awful. There was a dark future we had to look at once, very early on in the campaign. And we're kind of convinced, at least Aurora was convinced, it was her brother what done it.
Well, Aurora, about everyone was always like, well, they're like, they've killed hundreds, but maybe we should give them a chance. But about her brother, she's like, no, we just have to kill him as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So yeah, we decide Aurora's brother's got to die as fast as possible. And there's only one place that we know for sure where he's going to be, where we just fought him.
Yeah.
So we decided we were going to double back and redo that fight with ourselves, our past selves. And
which is messing with their own personal timeline, but it's only a day back.
Yeah.
They're not going to have any trouble convincing themselves.
Yeah. We'll give ourselves a script. This is the stuff you got to do over the next day.
Oh my god.
Croesus prepared well. He explicitly said that he stood completely still and did nothing for the entire day.
Yep. That was probably the wisest course. But anyway, yeah.
Well, some of them had to go shopping for rituals and stuff.
So, yeah, we're going to go back in time to about a day ago. And then when Aurora's brother shows up and starts sucking souls, we will use, I keep forgetting its name, the other bone of the earth that we stole It's time.
Teleram or something?
Teleram?
I forget.
Yeah. Anyway, it allows us to lock a moment in time so that it cannot be changed. And we figure that this will be enough to prevent Aurora's brother from fleeing through time. Because that's what he did the first time around. We need to lock him down so that we can kill him. Instead of him getting his cinematic speech and then running off to do whatever. That was where the session began. We'd gone back in time again, and we were hiding under a canoe. We're 23rd level party,
Ready to portage it.
and we're gonna go fight basically an evil god.
So you waited for him in the boathouse.
Yep, hiding under a canoe.
What level were you guys?
23.
Oh, I didn't realize you're that high.
Yeah.
So I pointed out that kind of thing probably happens all the time in movies, right? Like there's a scene where the villain and the hero are fighting and the villain's winning, and then the hero's friend who you didn't know was there shows up, right? Well, what was he doing? He was hiding in the boathouse the whole time. But you just don't watch the part where he's sitting under a canoe for 8 hours.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't make for good movie.
After the epic reveal, that's all anyone remembers. No one remembers that you were hiding in the boathouse for half a day.
So yeah, the plan is that we will hide in the boathouse and cast a ritual using, I've forgotten its name again, Bone of the Earth number 25 or something like that.
I don't remember. Okay.
That's the.
That's the one that freezes stuff they found in the
Yeah.
SBC. And Serendipity was able to combine it with the time travel one to freeze a moment in time. So it cannot ever be changed.
Yeah. And that was how we were going to stop him from time porting out, leaving a hole through time.
Yeah.
And also it was going to mean that if we kill him, that means he's dead. The downside is if we get killed, we're dead. So, yeah. I was a little nervous going into this one. We have a means of saving dead characters except in this circumstance.
Right.
So, tricky. So anyway, we're hiding in the boathouse, like peeking through cracks and stuff. And it's like a couple rounds before, we came there the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aurora's brother shows up. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we didn't name him Giggles. What was the name we wound up with? Cepheus, yeah.
It's the name of some actual star.
Yeah, not Giggles.
It sounds like a bad
I tried. I tried for Giggles. But
Though I later realized that if you say it differently, it's Cepheus, and they were already saying that he was just Sephiroth. Mm-hmm. The only similarity is that he's handsome and has wings.
Okay.
But apparently he's Sephiroth now.
Okay.
Well, Sephiroth is a one-winged angel, and he has one glowing wing, one black wing. So I guess it's vaguely similar.
So anyway, he shows up, and we do, and it's funny because he shows up and he's all like nervous and looking around and stuff. We do a knowledge check on him. He's just some level 8 schlub. He's like a skirmisher level 8.
What?
Yeah, he's super crappy. And I mean, he hasn't sucked any of Aurora's souls yet.
Oh.
So yeah, this is his starting form.
Oh,
It's not even
kill
his
him
final
now.
form. That was we were like, well, maybe we can short circuit this whole thing.
Yeah.
There's only one complication: is they had to wait for him to at least open the portal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, their past selves wouldn't have come through, and that would have screwed up the whole timeline. But they don't have to wait for him to eat all the souls. They just have to wait for him to open the portal.
Right.
Yeah. So we wait for him to open the portal, and then all of a sudden, this level 8 guy, like a party of 23rd level epics, comes charging out of the boathouse. We throw the canoe off, and we're like, ah!
Well, I didn't think he was nervous. He's like, I really hope they don't show up.
It's so funny because his other speech was like, I've eaten dozens of souls.
I have become the death of worlds.
Yeah.
Ah!
He was literally this nervous little turd before, like 5 minutes beforehand.
Yeah. So yeah, Croesus charges out and unloads some daily on him. I can't remember what, and like bloodies him in one shot.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, the first blow of the combat bloodied him. The rest of us are now gonna go in there and just like murderize him.
Did you feel bad at all?
No.
Okay. Because I feel a little bad for him.
He's a star. He'll wake up under a tree. He won't remember any of this.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought he might live one round. If he had, I wouldn't have given you the cinematic point I gave you. But after that happened, immediately
He had to interrupt it.
the future version of him with the two wings, and he's hovering above the water, appears, puts a time bubble in him, puts him completely frozen in time.
Seals him off so we can't just end this right now.
And then proceeds to fight the party.
Yeah. So it wasn't going to be just the whole session we spent pounding on a level 8 skirmish.
Right, yeah.
My plan was to after one round that would happen no matter what.
Yeah.
Or if they bloodied him, then I would have him appear and give them a cinematic point for BSing past them being able to kill him, which I had to do after one hit.
What would you have done if we'd actually one-shotted him?
I would have probably given you 2 cinematic points for BSing.
Past self comes in and puts the time bubble just as his head is arcing off. It's like, oh geez, I'll have to heal potion that.
In the session, I said it was a time stasis and he was totally frozen. But in my notes, I just said he appears and puts a plot bubble over it.
So was the time walking also in effect yet?
It is in effect.
It is, but
so basically means what happens is it. We can't. Nobody can redo this moment in time.
Yeah. So he is jumping in and messing with time, but he won't be able to.
Yeah.
Whatever happens now is going to be it forever.
Those time messings are.
Right.
So he shows up.
The party still had their turn because they basically only Croesus had gone.
Right.
Yeah.
And the party. Oh right, the party that was actually the surprise round against his past self. But him popping in was also a surprise.
Right.
So I just said, surprise round's canceled. Let's just roll for initiative.
Right.
Party wins initiative. They go first.
Right.
We're invisible, of course. And
But
so
Sephiroth can see invisible.
no, actually.
No, it's just last time they were invisible, but they came through a time portal and splashed into the water. So he knew they were there, even though they were invisible.
Right.
Yeah. So I kind of went overboard on my stealth because I figured he had some kind of true seeing BS going on.
Right.
So I actually took a bunch of feats and stuff to make myself more sneaky. I'll use it in the future.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think Croesus was outside the range of my. No, we were all invisible. I think.
You went invisible during the surprise round, I think. So
Right. Yeah. Anyway.
however it worked out.
Yeah. So we started piling on to Giggles. We'll call him Giggles here for you. Sephiroth. Whatever. The guy.
How the first round really went.
We needed to.
You need to get out there as part of it.
Yeah, that was I think most of it because we were inside a boathouse, and so a lot of our turn was taken up moving out there. Also, I did the thing that would give everyone an extra standard action next turn. So the first round was a little bit sparse. It was all getting into position. When did we put down that teleport thing?
That was next round.
That was next round. Okay.
I'm sure at least one of the first crits happened during this round, though.
We critted a lot.
Yeah, about the TPK.
Yeah.
There,
we critted. We were just on fire.
I think Robin counted them. There were 10 crits. The party critted him 10 times.
Yeah.
During the course of the battle, which we were about to describe.
Yeah. And there was at least one in the first round because I remember we opened strong.
Yeah. Croesus is already gone. Hank came out, hit him with something. I think he became large.
Yeah.
I don't remember just the first round. It's not that memorable.
When
Yeah.
did level 22 party come in?
In a couple
that's
rounds.
about to happen.
Okay.
So I guess I'll just go on his first turn because I don't really remember exactly what the party did in the first turn, except for hit him very, very hard. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember they massively damaged him, but he has a ton of hit points.
Yeah.
And then he got his turn, and on his turn, another version of him popped in, and immediately they started unloading on the party. And they each had abilities, so they had. It's hard to remember all the things he did, but he has. First off, he has his abilities as Aurora's brother to do. He's basically kind of like a warlock because warlocks can make pacts with evil stars. He is an evil star, so he's like the power source.
Right.
So he did some arcane curse forcing. That's right. The one that was the party, the one that was in the middle of things, he used Aurora's ability. That's something I've been looking forward to for a while, because he has Aurora's soul, so he can do Aurora's best abilities. And he used the ability that, as a GM, I have hated so much, where he pulled everyone next to him, weakened them save ends, and as long as you're next to him for the rest of the encounter, you're weakened. If you're next to him, you're weakened.
Right.
And
I remember now, because that's what Cricket did initially. Was she jumped in, she was weakened save ends, and she pulled weakened save ends off of Hank using the Armor of Sacrifice, and then she ended the weakened save ends effect on herself, which now included Hank's as well.
Right.
So yeah.
And I remember many combats where Aurora. I remember there's one where Aurora somehow got knocked down, and she had to spend all her actions to sustain stuff. So she was just crawling after the enemy to get next to them on their turn, so that they would be weakened. So now I have the power. And it definitely made a difference.
Oh,
there was a lot of
there was
weakened
a lot
attacks.
of weakened stuff.
And then there was also, I think this was the new guy who popped in. They all could use all three. They have three standard actions on their turn, one for each of their soul groups, because you want that with solos. And the other thing they can do is stuff that the End of All Things could do. And one of those things is making someone cease to exist for a time, which is a lot like, it's basically the exact same thing as Timeless Trek. This is actually the same effect. Sends them to the place where things that don't exist are. So that's the first thing that he did, was he did that to Croesus, who was locking down the other version of himself.
Croesus is back in Mithrandain again.
So he popped in, got rid of Croesus next to the other guy. Then the other guy did his range stuff and hit all the party. And I don't remember all the stuff, but they did. They weakened everyone. I think the other guy didn't get to use his Aurora attack because it wasn't applicable, but they used most of their attacks. And then it was back to the party's turn, and now there were two of them.
But fortunately, I can't remember who went first, but whoever it was went first did an attack against the first guy that was there, and did some hit point damage. And we immediately noticed that the hit point damage appeared on the other guy as well. So we're like,
that's
okay,
the past one.
That's the So
and also when he appeared, Gerard had critted against him and had done a critical on his leg, and had sacrificed 5 dice of damage or 6 dice of damage to permanently injure his leg, like forever. He's slowed forever. Just froze. And so
all his time duplicates are going to be slowed.
So the
as
new
well,
guy came and he also has a crippled leg. And he's also slowed.
And so we realized, we hit that guy, and that's the pool of hit points we need to wear down. And so who was it that did the anti-teleport thing?
That was Serendipity.
Serendipity put down a zone that prevents teleporting within the zone. And it encompassed both of them, I think.
Yes. It's actually super annoying.
And they're slowed.
They have to walk around.
And Croesus had them both marked. And he had a thing where if someone triggers their mark, he hits them with a thing that dazes them. And it was like fundamental to my plan that they had to be able to teleport. So I said,
I think someone immobilized them as well.
Yes. They were immobilized, slowed, can't teleport. No, they were restrained. Restrained, can't teleport, and slowed. And as soon as they tried to move,
not going anywhere.
They were dazed. But I did get out of it because after that all got laid down and everyone critted 5 more times on him, they blighted him. They blighted. Well, first they hit. They were entirely focusing their attacks on the first guy, and eventually the future guy. I think someone must have hit him too once, and it didn't. And the effect didn't go back to the other guy. First they didn't understand this, so they eventually figured out it was a time thing. And so first they hit the past guy, and it eventually bloodied the future guy. And then I think that was it by the end of this round. But then a third version of him popped in,
obviously,
and on his turn, next turn, and he used an Aurora ability to do an area thing and removed one effect that a save can end. And he removed restrained. Then they both moved and Croesus hit them and dazed them. But I said because they have
Like three
standard actions instead of the normal, it's not fair for Daze just take them down to one because they're like a solo.
Yeah.
So I just took away 2 of their actions, so basically halved it. So then they used their second action to move out of the teleport zone.
Right.
And then they used an action point to do an attack. Each of them attacked one thing. I don't. Their attacks just did damage. I don't think they were notable, except for that they hurt the party, and the party actually got hurt for once.
Yeah, they've got some pretty nasty necrotic stuff that they do. What was that thing where he like sticks a wing on someone and?
That's right. He touched Hank with his wing and caused his body to start dissolving and being pulled into him, and it did a massive amount of damage, and I think ongoing necrotic damage.
Yeah.
And until you save out of the ongoing necrotic damage, any healing you do goes to him instead.
Yeah, that was the really nasty part. That was scary because I've got like the word of life thing. If someone gets killed, I can give them a healing surge, and nope, that would just.
Right.
So
So that's really nasty.
That effect really sucks.
Yep. Sure does.
He must have done that on his second turn because this third turn where the third guy appeared.
Yeah.
So he managed to get. So they attacked the party. He managed to use all of his everything to get them out of the teleport circles.
Yeah.
Anti-teleport zone.
Yeah.
Which was just like
Wrecking their lives.
Yeah. And then at the end of their turn, the great effect goes off where they all flickered, and then it was they all kind of disappeared.
We don't know which is
they
the
all
past
shuffled.
most one now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to experiment, hit one, and see whether
Yes.
and
So-
then once we know, oh, it's that one, focus fire. But we'll have to spend
Mirror
some time.
image kind of deal.
Yeah, it was.
Wouldn't the past one be the least injured?
Yeah, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
And I had the effects. I realized I had to have the effects mostly went with them, but I had to have the effects that are like obvious. Just stick with the position, because otherwise it's like there was one of them. Oh yeah, he used eye bite, which is a classic warlock ability, and one of them Croesus can't see. So I had that stick with just the position because otherwise
it ruins
Croesus,
the fun.
which one can't you see? What?
There's 2 there.
so
Croesus, what do your blind eyes see?
Yeah.
so they've managed to bloody him. We got to end it.
And I was doing like one round I did almost 200 hit points of damage. Wow. And Cricket's not really a damage monster.
Yeah.
But
They're unloading all their dailies and stuff.
I have a vicious short bow. So and I critted. And it was like a 4-weapon damage thing.
Yeah.
And it was like ridiculous.
And
Fantastic.
I think they've now, or maybe they're close. I think they may have bloodied the most past version, right? The one that's always has the most hit points. I think is bloodied, or either is very close.
Yeah.
But both of the, at least 2 of them are bloodied.
Yeah.
But
so
The party has a round.
yeah.
that's where we had to end it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I took that whole down.
this is the past party did show up.
Oh right, of course I forgot to describe
the
that.
past party
party showed up immediately after really before the second
I think
duplicate.
there were 2 of them when they showed up.
That's right. They showed up immediately after the second duplicate, and I just said the 2 parties can take their turns at the same time.
Yeah.
You're just running 2 characters, and so they have both their level 22 and their level 23 sheets, and their set of powers that they have, and their hit points all separately.
Yep.
And that also added to how much massive damage they're doing because they're only 1 level apart.
But if Cephalon,
Cepheus.
Cellophane attacks the past party, then the future party takes that damage too, right?
We had a full day.
Oh,
we can do a rest.
Yeah, I thought about something like that for him too, but it's more interesting if it works this way. So whatever, that's fine. I guess he's just like
I'm
jumping back to the past.
I'm curious about what happens on round 4 if the 4th one shows up.
Yeah.
I suspect that is true. There will be 4.
We may need to start recruiting additional copies of ourselves too.
I don't know how.
Get our level 24 versions in. And
Did you just ask over 24 versions which one to attack?
they'll remember. No, they won't. Time travel's weird. But yeah, past Cricket immediately did that thing that gives everyone an extra action as well. And so the 2 Crickets are standing right next to each other. I'm just imagining Guardians countering each other.
And both both parties are invisible for 2 rounds, but the past party came in a round later. So the current party is now turned visible, but the past party is still invisible.
Yeah.
And it's not clear. Most of them they actually don't know. Like the Cepheus didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
But they sometimes got caught in area effects anyway. But for the most part, no one knows where anyone is.
Yeah. I think there was at least part of a round where everyone was invisible, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And so past party shows up, but they don't know what's going on.
Right.
But fortunately, we all have sending stones.
Yeah.
It's one set of sending stones,
Right, yeah.
but it's time duplicated. And so John adjudicated that it works across both versions.
Right.
And then I immediately was like, oh crap, when did we get those sending stones? Because
Right.
our super past selves are over and have we been like on their frequency this whole time. Fortunately, it was after that.
Oh, good.
We got these things in the Oodlands.
It would be very confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, because right now Super Past Hank is on the roof
Yeah.
of the inn and like jumping, and then they're gonna jump
he was
down.
Using
We're here. We're all here. Don't worry about it. We're all
who is it
invisible.
that's all in the lightning? I think it's Serendipity has been going nuts with lightning balls.
Because he's resistant to fire.
Yeah.
So there's lightning, there's explosions. It's
Serendipity's
crazy.
ball of fire doesn't work.
Yeah, so she brought out her lightning ball. And then past Serendipity brought out her lightning ball. So
Right.
you've got 2 lightning balls.
Doing AoE.
Yeah, they're right next to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't need to figure out which is the real villain if you just kill all of them at the same time.
Yeah,
True,
I think that our strategy at this point is just like, kill everything! Whatever does damage, do it!
I mean, they have done a lot of damage because they've got 10 crits.
Yeah.
And
That's a lot.
And-
And how have the critical tables gone? Like,
mostly they've just taken the damage, except for the one that slowed it permanently.
That was really good.
Yeah.
The rest of a lot of it's like he drops his weapon and like he's
Right.
not wielding a weapon. Doesn't
yeah,
really
he just
matter.
has wings.
And
His wings fall off.
Yeah. And a lot of things are save ends effects, and he's got like a +5 on his saves, so
Yeah.
like
the big thing, I think, even if he was slowed, he's mostly ranged, or if he wants to pull you, he can pull you. It wouldn't be so bad, except for that anti-teleport,
Right.
which is critical to not knowing which one of him to attack.
Yeah.
And I'm still a little worried about that, because they've just got outside the zone, and they have ways to pull people
oh
back.
yeah, we're trying to
Yeah,
put
there's
some of them
like
back
lightning
in there.
lures and whatever.
And
I've
sure
got
they got
cutting
out, but
words and-
it wasted 2 of his copies' entire turns. They did do 1 attack, but they had to use an action point.
Right.
So, yeah, that was critical though, because they bloodied him.
Yeah.
And the guy that was in there was known to be the most past guy. So if he didn't get out, there's no question, just
they're
kill
just
that
gonna
guy.
just nuke everything on that guy. I mean,
Now it's interesting because they don't know who to attack.
Cricket hasn't even actually started doing like attacking stuff.
Right.
She's been buffing, and that one thing where I did the massive damage was an interrupt.
Right.
So yeah, I've got a bunch of interrupts ready. There's one where prescient warning. Yeah, when an enemy attacks one of our guys, prescient warning lets them attack the enemy first.
You have the.
And both of my versions of Cricket have it. So
Do you have the one that's like everyone can attack the person?
no.
Do you remember that one from when I was playing Gil?
Yeah, no, I don't have that one.
That was good.
It's interesting too because the party was all talking about single enemy attacks, but as the comic goes on, it gets to be more and more multi-enemy.
Of course, it's still really there is the one load supporting boss.
Yeah.
We just have to figure out which one it is every round. Because he's swapping around every round.
Yeah, and actually, well, though area effects have been shown to be devastating because it'll hurt them twice, right? That's why the future version is more hurt because she laid down some giant lightning. Yeah, she hit a lightning spell that electrocuted the past guy, and so he got fried. And that same moment, his future version appeared to be fried, and then a lightning bolt shot out from him to his future version and fried him again.
She used chain lightning to hit
Me and JT.
multiple times throughout time. Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
But it's kind of satisfying though, because I was like, I'm making this guy, and I'm like, is this too hard? Nah, the party always just kills everything.
Yeah.
So, and the party's getting hurt, but I don't think they're too scared yet.
It's like that classic boast about how I'm going to hit you so hard your ancestors will feel it or something like that. That actually is the case here.
Or I'm gonna knock you into next week.
Yeah.
You were punching him through time.
Yep.
When the past party appeared, I made them draw 2 Jenga blocks. And I was actually going to have them draw more on their next turn, but I forgot. So
Yeah, and then when we did our post-session monologues, I had everyone do both the past and present versions of themselves. Cricket was a bit upset to see her future self because she's like, what weird secrets do I have to keep from everyone for the next year now? But
I think when she realized
it's just kill a guy.
From a day, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But it's great. The party's just so ready to do time travel now that it's just like they appear out of this portal. And the first thing they hear is over the sending stone. Okay, just kill this guy because we're you from a day in the future, and if you don't just do what we say, he's gonna teleport away. So let's just focus fire on him.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
We've
want ginger?
and we've already written up the scripts for what we did over the past day. And once we're done this combat, we're going to give our past selves the scripts and say, here, do this.
Right.
And Croesus actually was thinking ahead. What he did for the past day was stand absolutely still in one place and do nothing.
Wait a breaking time?
Because he knew that he was going to have to tell himself to do that.
Very simple. Just stand still.
Here, don't move.
I made it easy for you.
Now, and because cricket has to eat 4 sleepers all the time, just lie to yourself.
Yeah, we did do a little shopping, but actually not a whole lot, as it turned out.
Where did you go for shopping?
It had to be local stuff, because we didn't want to do a whole lot of time hopping. We had very little meta time. We just needed a ritual of silence, and we figured that's the sort of thing that probably a nearby town would be big enough to have.
Right.
It's a low-level ritual.
Yeah, I knew this combat would take more than a session. I don't mind with like a big complicated boss combat.
See, I was promising a time party kill, and they were killing that session. I was lied to.
Sounds like you guys got pretty lucky though.
They were super lucky.
So many crits. Well, of course, like half a party at this point have the mastery feats that give us expanded crit range. And we already have expanded crit range because of John's house rules. So 1 in 5 of my attacks are a crit.
Stacking crit range.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, so
I did that because I decided to double the crit range in general as part of the combats are taking too long. And I was like, crits are fun. Combats take too long. Let's just double the crit range. And then when people got the feats that double the crit range, they're like, this just adds 1, right? And I was like, crits are fun. Combats are taking too long. I'll just let you double it. So now you crit on 17 to 20. Fine, whatever. And I mean, we're obviously getting near the end of the campaign anyway, so whatever. The enemies have a double crit range too, so they hit harder.
Gives minions something to do, right?
Die dramatically.
Well, and I mean, with the crit table, crits are really interesting and fun, so having more crits is actually quite interesting.
Yeah. The crit table doesn't apply to players though, right?
That's right. They just get normal.
Oh, that's disappointing.
It's too cruel.
It lets
You have ways to fix it.
It lets you'd have to have 2 different ones, because if you have a crit table that only applies to enemies, then you can do really extreme things, like you are permanently crippled. You're slowed for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That's actually on the crit table, and that's cool. Whereas you don't. That's annoying if it happens to you randomly as a player.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have ways to fix it, right?
I guess, but you'd want to have that effect at a plot moment, not on a random table.
Yeah, just fighting some rats.
Yeah, some rats and he crits you and you're like, okay, my leg's broken forever.
yeah.
Damn it.
That's because there's no actual defense against crits.
There's what?
No actual defense against crits.
Yeah. Well, I guess I conclude this.
I don't really know what's going on here at all.
Okay, so we went into the portal to see what was up with the Aurora thing, and we were already there. Why are we already here? There's 2 of us. Okay, they're invisible, but we know there's 2 of us because they're talking to us through the sending stones. Okay, they're visible now. Yeah, there's definitely 2 of us, and I'm really big. That's I'm gonna have to try that. That's cool. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's a good idea.
We, the Serendipity, really feel good about this fight. Yes, and we are sure that nothing can't be solved by a little bit of lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Hank, I don't know which one you are. Are you future Hank or past Hank?
Doesn't matter.
We believe Hank agrees. Yeah. Both of them.
You know, serendipity then Mr. Walker's in time, and Serendipity explained it to me, and she said a lot of words, and I don't really know what's going on, but I sure am in that nowhere place again. It's really terrible here.
Okay, so here's the plan. Cricket's gonna seal up the time thing, and then we're gonna like wait for the past party to come here like we did like yesterday, and then we're gonna attack him before he summons the things. Wait, is that him? Wow, this guy's a wimp. Why don't we just get him now? Yeah, let's get him now. Okay, we're attacking him. Yes. Ah, get him! Wait. Oh, you're not a wimp. Oh, and now there's two of you? Uh-oh.
All right, we're gonna finally get those time mages. And through the pun, it's not the time mages. It's future me again. All right, what do I do now? This is not the first time. It's always worked out quite well, but what secrets am I going to have to keep for years to come this time, future Cricket? How far ahead are you from this time? I mean, I trust me and all, but what great task do I have to hide? Okay, kill these guys. Okay, that's much better than before. I like this a lot better. Yes.
Well, today I learned one thing. Man, that Serendipity, she can, wow, look at her go. Well, I can't see her, but I can see what those lightning things are. That's amazing. Look how much, wow. That is really impressive. Man, Serendipity, this is really, really beautiful. This is beautiful work. I need to compliment her. I should make her a card. Wow. I always wanted to see myself work, and I have to say, I am looking good.
Dude, Hank. Hi, Hank. Yeah, I'm here. You weren't expecting that, were you? No. Why are you here? It's okay. I was there where you were yesterday. I'm here again. But whatever. Let's just smash this guy, and we'll be good. Good idea, Hank. Wow, that was an awesome crit. Yeah, right? That was. I should do that again. I mean, look at these guys over here. Gerard's been critting like crazy, and Serendipity's been blowing up the entire universe. But I mean, my crit was pretty good too. I mean, I wailed on that guy pretty good. But I mean, there's a third one now, and they did a thing that might have shuffled them or something. So we should probably deal with that. Okay, yeah, good idea. We should probably wrap this discussion up so we can actually get back to fighting, right? Yeah. Okay. Good talking to you.
No plan survives contact with the enemy. I knew this would be a mess. It seemed to be a mess that was going in our favor initially, and still is fairly well in our favor. But yeah, things have gotten complicated. I was expecting it to get complicated. Not in this way, of course, because if I had expected it to get complicated, never mind. Let's just kill. Yes, we'll kill, and then we'll sort things out afterwards. Because this moment, at least, is fixed in time, and we won't have to redo anything about this. Once it's done, it's done.
So it's only fitting to say this, given where we are, but Cepheus, Giggles, whatever your name is, I am here for your blood.